I have a question for you today. So I want you to join me in this space. Take a deep breath. And I want you to answer this question in the now, not right now, but still while you're with me here. And I want you to answer this question from beyond your mind. I want to see your body, your emotions, the thoughts. Those are all things. I want that to reflect back the answer. If you can articulate it from the observation of those things, then that's great. But maybe we can step beyond the need to articulate these type of things. And so the question that I have for you today, and for me, just want to hang out with you in this space, is what is your nature? What is your nature? And see, I could have easily asked exactly the same question with what is the most simplest self? But I don't want to use those words. Self, authenticity, empowerment, self leadership. That's my next favorite, seems like. Because all those words have this charge, this connotation, kind of specific polarity to them, or at least the way I interpret it, the way I feel those words. But nature is very neutral to me. I cannot bring any type of judgment or, connotation, polarity to this word, nature. And I've been hanging out with nature. I had this card that kept coming for 2 weeks or so. And with Mother's Day arriving, and I don't know, collective participating in that energy. But this year I could really feel Mother's Day. And there was this frequency of, it was definitely the planet, but there was this other feminine. It was like all the feminine, all these different articulations, understandings of what I know the feminine to be, with the planet leading that Mother's Day frequency. I just couldn't but celebrate and oh my God, I can feel it now. Just how grateful can you be? And it was a lot. And so this question kept coming. So what is your nature? And I kept allowing that unfolding. And that is the answer that I want you to explore, to get curious about, is what is my nature? And so that was a question that we played with in this week's group. And what really came up was, can I hang with my nature without bringing up judgment? Because see, for all of us who've done the work, you know, we have 15, 20 years, 40 years, I don't know, whatever years of this work on ourselves. And is this a prerequisite now that I'm talking about it? I'm going to say no. I don't even care about that. I'm just going to speak from the self. Because we have to trust that whatever is that's coming through is clean enough, has been depatternized, if I can say it like that, has been removed and cleansed of the upbringing, of the fears, of the conditionings, of the trauma enough. We have to come to this point of, I've had enough of this game, of this journey, of this process. And maybe what is showing up is my nature. Can I stop the judgment towards what's showing up? And if we can just trust that maybe what's showing up, it's just perfect. Because it looks like it's not perfect, so as we're talking about this nature, what showed up is the anger response. And apparently anger is not this perfect, realized, acceptable self, right? Because if, I don't know, I guess if we're supposed to be enlightened or something, we cannot be triggered. It's not okay for us to display anger. And so we have this judgment when anger shows up as a not acceptable behavior. And so let me go back. When did this pattern first show up? Oh, yeah. I was 6, and the parents and the school, and this thing happened on the bus, and that was the beginning of this pattern. And I'm with my husband, but really I'm still my 6-year-old reacting to this fear, to this very existential safety, and then we get lost in that. But what if this anger is my natural self? Perfectly displaying itself within the imperfection. And what if we just call it, it's my nature? Without that polarity, what then? Then you can see how just that little switch in words takes you into this acceptance, this grace, this her. And so I've been practicing this. And as I'm practicing this, I'm watching my husband respond to this new me, right? Because he's used to somebody a little bit more steady, right? The intonation, the patience, But I'm observing how, as I'm regulating my response to his expectation, I'm just using this as an example because it was right there. I have to regulate my nature within. So on the outside, it looks as this steady person. And the true regulation happens within me, right? Within my self-reflection, within my emotional self-regulation, within my meditation. And then I decided, okay, card, because this thing, I mean, statistically speaking, it's just impossible. It's just an impossible. My mind is blown. How many times, repeatedly in a row, this card could come up? And I got it. It's not the booklet. It wasn't. Oh, spend time in nature, and I kind of forgot what the card was talking about. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to take it a lot more serious, and I'm going to explore my nature. What is my nature? And it turns out, and it's unfolding, that as I'm keeping my nature steady within me, the outside looks a lot more reactive. There's a lot less patience. He tells me, wow, all of a sudden you're so angry. What? I'm not angry. I'm just allowing my voice to have this natural intonation. And I see his reaction. Right at the beginning, it was more like, okay, she's having a bad day. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything. And then the second day, it's like, oh, it must be hormonal. But then as I'm watching him and me, there was this emotional resilience that was growing within him because I was taking more space. Well, my no, my space, my need for space was fluctuating. So even though there was this expression outward, he could feel that, oh yeah, she's not angry. Like, that's not like repressed anger. There is stillness, but now this display, I don't know how to deal with the display, but there's this steadiness. So he got to this place of this emotional resilience. And to me, now that I'm speaking out loud, it's like, it's just a thing. This emotion, this expression is just a thing. So am I going to be intimidated by the thing? So he's like, okay, it's just a thing. He was able to build that resilience. And with that resilience, there was this capacity that I haven't seen it in him. It's just the words, right? He's like, wow, I held this in me. This is kind of like the first time I wanted to, I can express it. I didn't want to express it. It's just, I can express it. I'm watching all this display, and it's because I'm in my nature. And whenever I can catch myself to allow the non-judgment and this constant self-correction of what I think my behavior should be, or taking in account other people's reactivity ahead of time. So let me adjust for this fake harmony. I can just arrive and operate from this nature in this most simplest way. And guess what? It doesn't look perfect. Just doesn't. But what what a beauty. It's just this beauty to be steady inside. And I cannot define that, turns out. At least for now. It is unfolding because I'm trusting this self, this nature, the body, my thought pattern. I'm trusting that nature to be the right thing in that moment. And I'm trusting the mastery at whatever level it reached to unfold, however it unfolds. And if I try to do it backwards, from the thought, from the emotion, from the behavior, then I feel like I'm betraying myself again. So it reversed. The embodiment, the nature is me, and I get to see it through my behavior, through my emotion, through my thought. Yeah. And what's interesting with that is that this need for connection, I've been striving. I just want to connect. Excuse me. Now that need, because I was fake too, is gone. That need was me not accepting my true nature and needing this validation, needing this somebody else, something else on the outside to connect and to reaffirm. But now again, I'm listening in these conversations with my husband, and he's like, I know the words. I know the individual words that you're speaking. I just don't understand what you're saying. I mean, it's hilarious. It's just so funny. But with that, there is this acceptance now from him, from me, because that is my nature. And somehow, it's beyond me. I don't know how this works, but somehow he doesn't understand the words, the communication outward. But because that's okay now within me, it's just my nature expressing and then his nature expressing. Does that have to connect? I got this separate alignment before. And it's like, yeah, he somehow gets me, because when I come back to nature, when I'm in nature, Do I get nature? God, no. You walk on this trail and you can feel the community in the trees, in the rocks, in the arrangement. And you don't walk a quarter mile and you're in a different state, right? There is a totally different community. There's a totally different understanding. There's a different, so when you walk 3 miles, it's like, do you understand what you just experienced? Heck no. I, where do I begin? Where do I, like, did I even get the information that was within that 3 miles? I got a very minuscule, I have a very small capacity to get what I just experienced over 3 miles. So who are we kidding, right? Like, who are we kidding with this stupid connection that we're trying to achieve? It's just my nature sharing, and whatever capacity is in us and everybody else. That's where we kind of meet within that sharing, within that small little connection, which is over the hike, over the 3 miles. That is so temporary. And then we go back into our own nature, and but we're never, it was just this attention, right? Where's my attention? I guess that's it. You know, what else can I say after that? But it's this question, what is my nature? And I feel like the only thing I have to concern myself with, right? And then, yeah, like, how can you not celebrate? I mean, God, it's this just constant desire for just celebration. So, thank you. Thank you for celebrating with me. Bye.